For more than 20 years, CTV has captured the moments that matter in our community. From our studios in St. Clair, you're watching Focus with Paul Dingeman.
Well, welcome to another edition of the Focus program. My name is Paul Dingeman. Glad to have you along. This is really a special Memorial Day weekend broadcast. We're very honored to have some representatives from River District Hospital here to talk about a golf outing that's coming up. We'll get to them in a second. And then the two representatives from the service organizations in Marine City and St. Clair will be along to talk about the two wonderful parades that are going on this Monday on Memorial Day, one at 10 a.m. in Marine City and one at 1 p.m. at St. Clair. We'll tell you all about that in a second. But let's begin with our friends from River District Hospital, Dr. H. Lee Batcheldor, the Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Sjogren, a radiologist, and Bill Zwing.
How are you, Paul?
Who's the important guy of the day because it's a golf outing that's coming up.
That is correct.
And you are the one that raised your hand and became chair.
We have been very blessed, and we enjoy giving back to our community. We all, especially to the hospital, we have an obligation.
Love of your life for quite a few years.
Yes, it has been.
Talk to me about when the golf outing is this year and where it is and all that kind of good stuff.
Well, Paul, to begin with, we would like to thank everyone for the past 39 years.
39.
That has supported our golf outing, and this will be our 40th annual, and we are looking for the continued support of everyone. And will be held Tuesday, the 13th of June, and as always, it's held at the St. Clair Golf Club, which is located at 1714 North River Road in St. Clair, Michigan. And I had conversation with our foundation individuals, so the foursomes are filling up rather quickly.
Oh, good.
And but it is definitely a special event. Each one of the golfers does receive a $50 gas card, which has proved to be very, very successful. The registration begins at 9:30 in the morning until 10:45. It is a shotgun start at 11 o'clock. There, from 11:30 until 2:30, there are snacks and lunch that is provided on the course. And then at 4:30, there is dinner, and that's preceded by a social hour. It is a long day for everyone. So following the dinner, we do have just a very brief program, and also. We'd love to have all the golfers. We'd love to fill the course, but you can join us for dinner.
If I'm not a golfer.
If you're not a golfer, and the cost for that is $50. The cost to golf is $225. And for whatever reason, if someone is not able to golf, not able to attend, the dinner, they can make a donation for this very vital piece of equipment that the proceeds from this golf outing will be going for.
That's what I was going to ask next. Normally you raise money to purchase something for River District Hospital. That's no different this year?
That is absolutely correct.
And
yes.
what is the item this year?
We will let the excellent individuals
Dr. Batcheldor, are you going to lead us out on this?
I'm going to leave it up to Dr. Sjogren because it's going to be a piece of equipment he's going to use on a regular basis.
Welcome to the Focus Set, sir.
Thank you very much. Now, this piece of equipment we're getting is a 3D tomography for breast mammography.
Oh, okay.
It's actually a very vital piece of equipment for preventative care for women. Mm-hmm. We actually do use it on rare occasions for men as well. So it really is a community benefit to be able to get this piece of equipment in for River District Hospital. It gives us some more advanced methods of looking at the breasts and the breast tissue. We're able to see things better with the tomography, which is basically stacking up pictures that we can then individually look at the slices, and we can better analyze what's going on inside the breast, and we can find breast cancers quicker and earlier this way.
Are we finding more success with breast research and recovery and things along those
Oh,
lines?
absolutely. There's been huge strides going forward. We haven't beaten every single thing yet, but the odds of surviving breast cancer are significantly increased today than they were, say, 25 years ago. This piece of equipment is actually able to help us as well. Prospectively, they're seeing already an improved early detection, and early detection is key for breast care and survival.
So it's a 3D, pretty sophisticated technology. It allows you to research and see things much better than you can now.
Yes, sometimes the breasts get very dense, and someone will hear that, oh, you have dense breasts, and that's just a normal physiologic type thing. But what it does is it makes it more difficult for a radiologist to make an interpretation. Things can be hidden in there. With this 3D imaging, it's like a regular mammogram, but then they take another machine that comes over the top and takes a series of pictures, and that series of pictures can then be analyzed individually. And by looking at that, we can sometimes see things that are hidden in between some of this dense breast. So women with dense breasts have a very big benefit for being able to use this type of technology, and it'll be coming into River District.
It's got to be just so amazing to see all the technology keep coming year after year after year in your field.
Yeah, this field, especially in medicine, is very technology driven, and we've seen huge improvements across the board in the last 25 years. There are all sorts of new technologies coming out. There's some coming down the line that may be of benefit as well. And that's just my one little section of medicine and radiology. The other sections of medicine are also seeing huge improvements as well.
Is the new equipment, is it on site already, or is it on order, or where are we at?
We are in the process of finishing up a couple of certifications that need to be performed in order to start this. But we have been bringing in a special unit in advance in order to bring this technology right into the hospital. So as soon as we're able to convert over with all the required paperwork, we'll be up and running, because we already have had experience with this type of machinery by bringing in a van to do this for women already.
Oh, okay. So, so one of those big vans that I see down at River District Hospital,
Yep.
That's been doing this kind of work before.
Yes.
Now you'll have your own facility.
Yes, exactly. We're
Super.
upgrading what we've had to this new type of technology.
Okay. And obviously the golf outing will help support it, but it probably needed more money than that, so people can still donate.
We could use a lot more donation. This is a very expensive piece of equipment. All this radiology equipment is very, very expensive, and little bits help. And so every little bit that we can accept would be very beneficial.
Okay. Dr. Batchelor?
One more thing Dr. Sjogren failed to mention, or forgot, or didn't add, is that not only does this improve the diagnosis rate, but also it reduces the callback rate for women too.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of times women, they have a mammogram and they get a callback, say, well, you got to come back for additional views. This allows the radiologist to really look at things closely, and it reduces the number of times women have to come back for callbacks. So that's
False
a benefit
positives,
too.
is that what the term?
Correct.
My
Correct.
golly, I'm learning.
Yeah.
So that would be important, because that would save
Yeah.
both the patient's time, but the doctor's time, and the doctors are busy. So are the patients.
Yeah, and patients get a lot of anxiety when they get that call back.
Correct.
When they got to come back for other views, that really causes a lot of emotional anxiety, so it reduces that callback rate.
Let's talk about River District Hospital. We just had a 50th anniversary
Last year.
a year ago, last year, and it started out as a community hospital and really still is a community hospital. Talk to me about why it's so great.
So it's thought of as a small community hospital. We do a lot of general bread and butter things great, and we leave our sister hospitals, St. John Hospital Medical Center, Macomb, Providence, the other hospitals, to do those other things that are higher tech and more intensive than what we can do there. We've had a change in leadership recently. Mr. Poma had been the president for quite some time. He had led us, probably the longest serving president we've had. He's moved on to lead Cardiovascular Center of Excellence for the health system. And then I have stepped up in my role as Chief Medical Officer to provide more hours to the hospital. And then Kim Ronish, who's a nurse that came from St. John Hospital Medical Center, she's our Chief Nursing Officer and also Vice President of Operations. So her and I are co-leading the hospital. Great things have happened. Kim's brought some great ideas on board. We've done some great things to train the nursing staff. Customer service has increased. We measure our customer service. just got our recent surveys for last month, and wonderful positive comments. I mean,
Great.
Some people who had said, you know, I previously said I wouldn't go there, but I was really pleasantly surprised, and things are really nice. They've had great experiences and great outcomes, and even great experiences when you don't have good outcomes sometimes too.
It is a feature of the community that we have a hospital. A lot of communities our size don't have that luxury.
Right.
And you have to drive. If you're up in Sand Lake County or something along those lines, you've got quite a way to get to a facility. So we're very fortunate in that regard.
We are. And we're doing well. We're doing good, and we have the benefit of being aligned with the bigger health system, not only St. John Providence, but nationally with Ascension Health. And we're going to see in the next year or two some signage changes.
Okay.
We're going to start branding across Michigan and Wisconsin to start with Ascension, naming all their facilities Ascension facilities. So it'll be much like some of the other organizations, the major organizations.
I still want to be the guy somewhere in the world that sells business cards to all these places that change their name all the time.
Oh, you know, business cards, lab coats, signage. It's going to be a big undertaking to change the name, yeah, throughout all the facilities.
With all that changing, you still got a core of good quality people that are working to take care of the community.
We do, and we've received some recent awards. We had our Joint Commission inspection in April. Every 3 years, the Joint Commission, who works under the auspices of Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services for the federal government, they come in, inspect us, make sure we're doing the right things, providing safe care and a safe environment. They spend 2 days three people going through the hospital top to bottom, looking at policies, procedures, looking at the physical plant, and we came through with full accreditation for the next 3 years.
Marvelous.
So we're real happy about that. We also recently received the 2017 Patient Safety Excellence Award from healthgrades.com, and they look at 14 different parameters for providing safe care within the hospital. That places us in the top 10% of the country
Really?
for patient safety. Yes.
Marvelous.
Yeah, so it's quite a nice award. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, on North River Road, on River Road.
It's on the
big
sign. It's on the sign out front.
Yeah. Well, those are all good things. We'll have to have you back to hear more.
Thank you.
Let's talk about the golf outing again. When is it? How can I get involved? Can I be a sponsor? What else is
You
left?
can definitely, everyone can be a sponsor and obviously a golfer, or join us for dinner. And you can make your check out to or fill out the registration form. And you could call area code 313-343-4530 and just make your checks out to the St. John Hospital Foundation.
Okay.
And also, because it is the 40th annual, throughout the day there will be some special events and some special prizes that will be awarded throughout the day.
Okay.
And would like to have all the registrations in for the 29th of May if we could, but obviously we can make accommodations
You'll
if
make room.
need be
You'll
at a later date.
Okay. Well, it's an honor to have you guys all here, and we certainly support everything that the hospital does. And Bill, we congratulate you for all your volunteer efforts throughout the community.
Well, we appreciate everything you do for us, Paul.
Glad that you made it to Focus. We'll have to have you back. And good seeing you. Yes, sir.
And we are very blessed to have Bill as our golf committee chair, and
yeah.
also he's been involved with us in many ways throughout the years, and other golf committee members. We're very, very blessed to have people like him involved in our community and our hospital.
That's right.
Yes.
I second that motion, sir.
Wonderful.
Well, I think all of us have been blessed, and we need to give back to our community and buy this piece of equipment that we are going to be purchasing. This helps us to enhance and improve the overall health of the residents of our community.
Yeah,
so
really
it does
does.
mean
Yes.
a great deal.
Great.
And I think all of us know, we continually hear in the doctors, firsthand, early detection is the main goal.
You are right. You are right. Thank you, Bill.
Thank you.
We'll be back with our next guest, and they are from the American Legion post here in St. Clair. Dave Gillis. He'll be right along. As I said at the top of the show, this is a great weekend. It's Memorial Day weekend, and we have a representative from the American Legion Post 382, right number? Right number, 382, to tell us all about what Memorial Day is and what's happening. David Gillis, welcome back to Focus Set.
Thank you, Paul.
Nice to see you.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure to see you.
And you, me.
Thank you, sir.
I mean, you.
Thank you. Let's talk about a second or two about what Memorial Day is and how it got started and that kind of good stuff.
Well, you have to go back a few years. You might remember it, I wouldn't. It's 1868.
I was just out of high school. Just out of high school.
1868, when the commander of the Grand Army proclaimed May 5th as Decoration Day.
Okay, I remember.
But, okay, you do remember it. And it wasn't until the 30th of May that it was officially proclaimed that, when groups of women, in reality, from both the North and the South got together and put flowers on 5,000 graves of Confederate and Union soldiers. And that was the first observance.
That's
of
marvelous.
Memorial, isn't it? Isn't it? Yeah. And when you think about it, if you just visualize that happening, kind of a coming together of cousins and brothers and sisters and so on and so forth. So yeah, it is a Memorial Day.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it wasn't until years later that they renamed it Memorial Day.
It's celebrated all over the United States.
Yes, it is.
And I know one year, or for a number of years, a realtor a number of years ago in St. Clair used to go around and put little flags on the front of everybody's lawn. Those little small, tiny little flags.
Yes.
And that was such a nice thing that happened around here. But
Yeah.
a couple nice things that also happen is the parade at 1 o'clock in downtown St. Clair. And it's put on by your post, American Legion Post 382, Fulton J.
Charles J. Fulton.
Charles J. Fulton Post. And talk to me about what goes on and how that parade got started.
Well, I don't recall when it got started. I do recall when I inherited it, and that was a temporary function for me 6 years ago.
6 years ago.
6 years ago, and it's really it's really supposed to be the function of the chaplain. It's a remembrance event, and a couple years ago I was elected chaplain, so I legitimately have that program right now. We actually start in December of every year.
Really?
Reaching out to the community. It is often difficult to get volunteers. It's often difficult to get responses from participants. So we started in December by asking for volunteers to assist in the project, for participants in the parade, for participants in the ceremonies that follow that, and there's a lot that goes with that. And by this Friday, we should have it together. So it's an ongoing process. And we start in December. We take a breath in June, and then we continue again in December. Yeah.
Okay. There are two parades on this coming Monday, Memorial Day. And the first one is at 10 a.m. in Marine City. And Jesse White from I believe it's the VFW
Post,
is the chairman of that event. And that he tells me over the phone a couple days ago that he's getting a number of units, but it's a little different than the one in St. Clair because they also memorialize and remember the firemen, the fallen firemen from around the area, and they have a very nice little ceremony. And both parades are so small town America, it's marvelous.
That's what it's about.
Yeah,
that's what Memorial Day is about. I keep looking at major events that are televised, and although a lot of people enjoy them, they watch them and so on, it's more entertainment than it is Memorial Day. Memorial Day is a small town USA function. And I would suggest if you went to the parade in Marine City in the morning and the parade in St. Clair in the afternoon, you'd get as much out of either of them. You'd find different approaches to Memorial Day, but it would give you a true feeling of what Memorial Day is all about.
We fortunately have broadcast both of the parades for numbers of years, 10, 15 years, and we'll do that again this Memorial Day, and we'll rebroadcast the parades all day Tuesday and Wednesday. So we honor you for being involved, and we honor obviously the men and women that lost their lives and are being memorialized this Memorial Day.
Good, thank you.
Anything else that we should?
No, it's just, if we would just concentrate on what Memorial Day really is. I think, and I'm an old conservative traditionalist, but when people say to me, Happy Memorial Day. I have a problem with Happy Memorial
No,
Day.
not happy.
But those things happen. People
Yeah.
just say those words. It's really not a celebration. It's a remembrance. It's a remembrance of people that gave their lives for our freedom. So we need to remember that often. This week we're putting flags on grave sites in 5 different cemeteries, as an example.
Marvelous.
Yeah, and we need to do that. I would hate to see that not be done. And once in a while you'll get a call from somebody saying you forgot the flag, and it bothers me, and it should bother me. So yeah, it's not only the parade, but there's a ceremony that follows that. And we have speakers. They're brief, and I would suggest you come out, but they're brief. We have music by the outstanding St. Clair High School band. We have a vocalist. I told her, this is her 3rd year, 4th year, I think, and I keep telling her she's a tradition now.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
She does an outstanding job. And of course, the volley of the Honor Guard and a combination of things. You'll get a true feeling from Memorial Day if you come out.
There's both of the parades are well attended. The Marine City one, again, it's just like the St. Clair one is. It's families, it's little kids, it's dogs, it's grandma and grandpa.
Exactly.
It's a little bit of everything, and they're both well worth the attendance.
I think so. We try to keep it small town if we can. We've had requests for different participants in the parade, and unfortunately, we've had to say no. We try to keep it to family. A lot of Girl Scouts, a lot of Boy Scouts. The Coast Guard's joining us this year.
Good.
So you may see a boat in the parade. So.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Dave Gillis, we salute you, as
Thank
I
you.
said, for your efforts on this and for all the other things you do in the community. We salute you
Great.
for that.
Thank you
my
very
friend.
much.
That's about it for this edition of the Focus program. Thanks very much for tuning in. And as we said, we will be covering both of the Memorial Day parades, the 10 o'clock one on Monday at Marine City and the 1 o'clock one on Monday at St. Clair. And we'll be broadcasting those later on Monday and all day Tuesday and all day Wednesday. So for you and your family, your relatives, and for all of America, I won't say happy. Have a safe and worthy Memorial Day. Thanks.
Thanks for watching Focus with Paul Dingeman. Focus is produced at the CTV Community Television Studios in St. Clair. For over 20 years, CTV has captured the moments that matter to our community.